Sharang was recently successfully test-fired at the long-proof range in Jabalpur. Now, this gun is an upgraded version of the Soviet-era 130mm 52 caliber M46 field gun. While the Soviet version has a strike range of 27 km, the upgraded ones have a range of 39 km. The upgrade also increases the lethality of these guns. In October 2018, Ordnance Factory Board was tasked with upgunning Indian Army's vintage M46 artillery guns. The first batch of 18 indigenously upgraded Sharang artillery guns is likely to be inducted into Indian Army by the end of March this year. For more on this, we're joined by a distinguished panel of guests in the studio today. Let me first introduce the guests to you, beginning with retired Lieutenant General V.K. Saxena, distinguished fellow from VIF. We also have with us retired Major General P.K. Chakraborty, our defense expert, somebody who knows a lot about the field guns. And we have with us Mr. Ajay Banerjee, the defense correspondent of the Tribune. Let me begin with you, General Chakraborty, and let's take a walk down the memory lane in terms of this particular gun, because this is a Soviet-era M46, which is now being upgraded into Sharang. So, how the history of this gun as far as Indian Army is concerned?
Well, as far as the Indian Army, or even as the world is concerned, this is possibly one of the best guns, which has came in, I think, somewhere in the end. It's known as the M46. 46 really tells us really the year in which probably it entered the Soviet forces. And then it was used by the North Vietnamese against the Americans. And the major artillery of the North Vietnamese. It entered the Indian Army at a time when I think the mediums were in desperate need. If you take 65 war, you'll see Pakistan had a beautiful array of medium guns, whereas the Indian artillery was really needing it, so it came in the 68. And even today, the gun is a great gun in terms of one thing. Any equipment, any human being is seen in terms of its robustness. We found this gun to be extremely robust. Now, how did we decide on the upgrade? The first time we decided on the upgrade, we really did it on this 130mm gun, and which was with Soltem, which is now today really entered into Elbit, and it's an Israeli company in which the barrels, the same Ordnance Factory Board had made about 180 barrels of the 130. We upgraded. Why we upgraded? When we look at this gun, you find that as far as the gun is concerned, you have a carriage and a mounting, which carriage really speaks of the chassis, you know what you want to say. The carriage is outstanding. It carries the barrel, and the barrels are manufactured, by the way, even for the 130mm in what you call Jabalpur, by the Ordnance Factory Board. You have the gun carriage factory, and possibly the barrels would be manufactured in Kanpur and they come over here, and ultimately the mating is done over here. The 130mm, let me put it, even today the range is reasonably high, about 26-27 kilometers, which is a great thing to do as far as a medium gun is concerned.
And specifically, if you look at the fact that this is a 50s, 60s gun.
It's a 50, but it is a beautiful gun, so simple to lay, so simple to deploy, so simple to maintain, so simple to fire. It's really a prized gun. I've served with it, and I must say, I really found the whole thing very simple. The next thing is its accuracy. You can fire this gun on direct firing against a tank. And now you've got a 155mm barrel. So you find, now we got first of all the Soltem. And when we got the Soltem, we found that it could be, deployed everywhere. Almost 8 regiments of Soltems came in, and the OFB was involved. Then we took a call that we were not getting these guns. Today it's a win-win situation where so many guns are being inducted. We were at this period, and I would say that possibly after the Soltem was inducted, and we came into what you call a period where the 155, 52 and 45 calibers were being inducted. So we felt, no, if not anything else, let's get some 130mm guns from a secondary market. We came to that option. It was decided, approved by even the Ministry of Defense, but we could not find a vendor to that deal. Then we said, okay, this gun, at least let's do something on our own. And this something on our own means the artillery directorate gets involved. And we got OFB, and we said that, okay, and we did not start with OFB. We said we'll make it an open thing. There'll be more than one, and we started a make procedure in which we said we'll have about at least more than one competitor. Ultimately, as you know, Punch Lloyd with Yugo Import came in, and the second was Bharat Forge, which again had another what you call vendor, which was a foreign vendor. I do not want to get into so many names. And the third was OFB. OFB could take it alone because simply, firstly, the chassis is made by them. The tires initially, the 130mm gun, were all solid tires.
Okay.
Then we got these new tires which are there right now, and you'll find that we could run it for greater distances, and we could run it everywhere. Then after that, it's a question of making the barrel. So they were already making the Dhanush, and I'm making it very simplistic. It is not that simplistic. So they were making the Dhanush, so they found it easy, and so therefore when these three people were tried ultimately, as you said in October 2018, when the trials were there, OFB automatically comes in.
Okay.
The beauty of the gun, another thing, it is 1/5 of the price of a 155mm. It's very simple to lay. It's got all the sighting capabilities which you have of the other guns.
Okay.
And it will fire the same ammunition, and you could take it.
Okay, we'll come to the specifics a little later, but let me first bring in General Saxena here. General Saxena, if we look at the Indian artillery and the M46, which is now upgraded into Sharang, so where does Sharang fits in as far as Indian artillery setup is concerned?
Sir, we have a border of around 7,000 kilometers, 4056 with China, 3233 with Pakistan. With such a large border with not so friendly neighbors, experts have opined that we require a large number of artillery pieces to provide the fire support to our combat forces, and one of the expert analysis puts this number to 2,000 or 2,000 plus. Now these pieces are divided into guns, howitzers and mortars. Basically these three pieces are distinguished in terms of first of all their barrel length, the trajectory, the muzzle velocity, the range, and also the capability to clear the crest. The guns being the flatter trajectory weapons, high muzzle velocity, long range, but capability to clear the crest is less. In howitzer a little more, and mortars very high. Now, I take you back to, first of all, sir already brought about, in 1968 we inducted a large number, I will not disclose the number, of M46 guns from Russia. And thereafter there was a large gap. From 1987 to 1991, 414 Bofors guns were inducted, with gun howitzer basically was inducted. And thereafter there was a famine. Everybody knows about Bofors. I am not going into the controversy portion. But from 1987 to around 2017-18, I have seen, being in service that time right up to the DG, there are many artillery modernization plans took place. They used to take off and die for one reason or the other. Except that there was one artillery modernization plan, I remember, in 2011, which actually put the basis of artillery modernization on its right basis. It divided the artillery modernization into three basic, I am talking of guns and howitzers only, in three categories. They say we require towed guns, number one. We require towed howitzers of a higher and high angle or clear more crest. And we require self-propelled guns and howitzers. Self-propelled means they can move on their own traction. Okay. Now in these three, now it is to the credit of the Regiment of Artillery that today, if there is one arm which is actually celebrating the Make in India to the hilt, it is the Regiment of Artillery. Now talk of these three categories I'll talk about. Now talk about the towed artillery gun. Do you know that there is a program, Advanced Towed Artillery Gun System, which was given to OFB, ATAGS, given in 2013. Very few people know that this is, in the Indian history, the highest public-private partnership program posted at 3368.48 crores for 150 pieces. Also, it also holds a world record. A Bharat Forge gun of ATAGS achieved a range of 48.074 kilometers and of startup power achieved 45 kilometers. So this is one category. Other category now we tried the Nexter gun also in this, but I will not go into that. We didn't succeed in that. Now come to the second category of howitzers. We wanted towed howitzers. Now here I will say M777 N77 howitzer, which is a Towed howitzer, was brought in by Mahindra Defence and from BAE Systems. Again, a great thing happened. Only out of 145 howitzers at 5070 crores, only 20 were to be brought state of art, rest to be made by the Mahindra Defence. Again, Dhanush, you saw Dhanush on 26 January roll down the Rajpath. This howitzer is one of our own, and this 155 millimeter howitzer is the pride and a place.
Okay.
Now talk of the third category. What is the third category? SP howitzer. Everybody knows about the K9 Vajra. The only deal with South Korea till now, in a deal in which the L&T won a global tender. Only 10 brought assembled here, 50 and 40 in 2 years of November 19 and November 20 will be made by L&T. Here is Mahindra Defence, here is L&T, here is OFB, making these three categories of weapons, which is towed artillery, which is towed howitzer, and self-propelled artillery and howitzer.
Okay.
Now this was one channel which was working in one vertical. At the time, as sir brought out, another thing which was happening, there was a large number of M46 130 mm pieces. Now M46 weapon system, though is an excellent weapon system, has a caliber default, caliber shortfall. It was decided by that the standard caliber is 155 millimeter. Why 150? Why so sacrosanct figure? Range, first of all, the required range. Secondly, required lethality. The type of ammunition, for example, it carries 8 kg of warhead, this Sharang round, as compared to 3.4 of the
M46.
M46. Now also, not only that, different varieties of ammunition to be fired. This I can bring it out later, but let me just bring it out that the other vertical which was climbing up was how to upgun 130 millimeter into 155 millimeter. As sir brought out, when the global tender went, Punj Light with Yugo Import and Bharat Forge with Soltam came in, and OFB also came in. This gun was, the OFB won that tender because it is actually a gun is already there, only an upgrade kit. The upgrade kit has a barrel, has a breech block, has a pneumatic rammer, as also the different type of ammunition. This is how it fits. Now, where will this fit? Again, bring to you three categories: towed gun, towed howitzer, and self-propelled howitzer. This will come in the category of towed guns.
Towed guns.
Why? Because, and also, if you can really strictly talking, gun howitzer.
Okay.
Because the trial was done at 0 degree, 15 degree, 40. It can go up to 45 degrees also, not actually a flat trajectory, but an excellent weapon design.
Okay.
So this is where the artillery is climbing up on its procurement in three verticals of towed gun, of towed howitzer, self-propelled gun howitzer, and this upgunning is fitting into the first category and bringing up the number. Today, how much L&T, how much Bharat Forge, how much Mahindra Defence, the tremendous amount of make in India is churned up by the regiment of artillery.
Okay, so that's a very wonderful sum up as far as the artillery modernization program overall is concerned. Let me bring you here, Ajay, as both the generals are pointing out, and the larger picture that they have described in terms of artillery modernization. There's a lot happening. And very significant aspect of that is the indigenization, the Make in India aspect, the public-private partnership also. So that also is a very significant one here.
Yes, Vishal, actually this morning I was doing a bit of number crunching for this show only. See, we are making 144, now we are talking only of the towed artillery guns. The Artillery Modernization Program 1999 talks about 1580 pieces of the towed artillery guns. Now these are towed artillery guns classifications. There are separate guns, tracked guns, wheeled guns, there are separate guns. I am only sticking to the towed artillery guns. We have a demand for 1,580 such guns. Now, let's do a bit of number crunching. We are making 144 of the Dhanush, which we are making on phone, around 150 of the ATAGs. Now, that takes the number to around 300. Now, both the generals have refrained from addressing the number of the M46. My sources tell they are around 1,000 M46 guns. Now, Vishal, that makes it 1,300 guns which are available. 200 are being upgunned at the moment. Another 200 were upgunned by Soltam in 2008. Project Karan, if I'm not wrong, the project name.
Project Karan.
And so that means we will have 1,500 upgunned guns. So the number of 1580 is almost there. Another order of Dhanush, another of ATAGs, and we will be self-sufficient in the artillery program on our own, in our own country. The ammunition is made here, the gun is made here, the metallurgy is here, every technology is here. So you will be among the small league of nations who make an artillery gun on their own and have the ammunition on their own. That is the most important aspect of this gun being upgunned.
Okay.
The number of 1,580, the demand of the Indian Army will be met from within India. That is the important part.
And that's going to be cost effective as well, as General Chakraborty pointed out. General Chakraborty, one very interesting aspect here is, and which our viewers would want to know, as to why the upgunning required. One aspect General Saxena spoke about in terms of ammunition, ensuring that there is a commonality of the ammunition which is used by all the field guns. But from 130 mm to 155 mm, how does it affect the efficacy of the gun? Specifically, range has increased. We say, the experts also say the lethality has increased. But how, if you can explain it?
Okay, before I answer your question, I'll correct on the figures. 1582 plus 1 of this 1000 is needed.
Okay.
Kindly, please don't reduce the artillery is required. Actually, this is a very, please, sir, I have done it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please,
So that number goes to more than 2,500.
Today reduce it, we will have to answer the sir. We require much more. I have reduced it. I myself worked with my own hands. These fingers have worked out these data. And as General Saxena corrected.
But we are on the right track, as Ajay was pointing out.
Sir, we please don't reduce the
numbers.
numbers.
Sir is adding the truck-mounted numbers.
Okay.
814 truck-mounted numbers.
Yeah. Now I'll answer your question.
Okay.
I'll answer your question.
Let's come to the
I'll answer your question. So why going for upgrading to 155? And I'll give you a simple answer. The lowest caliber in which you can fire a nuclear weapon is the 155 mm. Now, please tell me, if today you want to fire an artillery, you want me to fire a nuclear weapon, which you would agree is the thing, I need a 155 mm. This was my first point of research. We just started way back and we put it in the noting. So, if you want to do, rest are all issues, obviously. With 1.5, say today now you got Lockheed Martin and what you call BAE system, they have made a naval gun, 62 caliber with what you call, I think 155, this firing 200 kilometers. Keep on increasing the range. See, what General Saxena and they, I think, correctly brought out is the ammunition. You see, the question is, the weapon of the artillery is the ammunition. If today you want to, let's say, have, after all, ultimately what is going to go to the target is not the gun. It's going to be the ammunition. So if today you want, firstly, if you want to fire a shell which has got to range, and after it's got to have a nuclear reactor, that means the shell has got to have that. It has to have that capability. So the lowest is 155 mm. You'll find even the rockets are all about 200 mm. You'll find all of them which are being fired. You see, take today Pakistan's Nasser or the others. So the lowest caliber, which at that time NATO was relying a lot on tactical nuclear weapons, we are looking at it that way. That is a major advantage. The other issues, obviously, you're getting much more range. You're going with a higher muzzle velocity. The more you increase the barrel length, the 155 means automatically the caliber increases. With the caliber, your barrel length will also require much more. You're going to have a higher muzzle velocity. You're going to have a better fragmentation pattern. And lastly, see, if you look at it, range is the most important thing, because the further you can hit, why should you today, I just put it, and I put it right, written everywhere in the world, why must you send some people across the place and hit? You fire your Excalibur, which we have got with us, you got your 155 mm, you don't have to send what you call a team of para-commandos, or you don't have to send all these people who went to Balakot. Our guns should reach over there. We will destroy all the terrorist camps for you. I've been holding an operational appointment where today there's no question across the line of control, dominance will come in if you have long range.
Okay.
And that's what General Saxena would want, that's what Ajay would want, that's what all commanders on the field would want.
Okay, so that gives us dominance as well. General Saxena, your views on this aspect, what benefits do we get?
Sir, let's look at Sharang, and I will like to say that it brings 7 different, advantages, specific advantages, which we must appreciate as professionals. First advantage, as I told you, that it is filling in the gap of the towed artillery piece. I don't want to go into the details again. I've also told you how it is adding up to the ATAGS, that is ATAGS numbers. It will be coming along with 155.
Okay.
More important, the foundation of this gun is laid on a chassis which is actually an ageless chassis. much before we were born. The chassis was a 1940s design, 1946 inducted, 1968 some numbers which I will not say inducted here. The design and the chassis is superb. I have seen this gun being operated by the crew and it is fantastic. So 16 different countries in the world hold this weapon system, can fire at from 0 to 45 degrees. The chassis is excellent.
Okay.
So we are building a foundation of the gun on a strong battle proven chassis. Next point, higher caliber means what? Higher caliber, as sir brought out, higher caliber also means higher range, higher lethality, higher accuracy and higher range and reach. The most important, as sir brought out, what is artillery? Ammunition is artillery. Now it fires 4 different types of ammunition. It fires at ammunition called HEBT. What is HEBT? High explosive boat trail. What is boat trail? If you look at the ammunition from the side, it is tapered on the side. Means it looks like a boat. Why this boat? This why HEBT ammunition? This type of ammunition increases the ballistic coefficient. For the viewers to tell, ballistic coefficient is some quantity. If the higher ballistic coefficient means the round has got a greater capability to overcome the air resistance. Very short, very simple.
Okay.
Then it fires the high explosive base bleed. What is base bleed? In base bleed ammunition, again very simply I'll put it across, that in normal round which is not base bleed, there is a pressure of low pressure just behind the shell. When the shell is moving in the air, just behind at the base of the shell, low pressure, which causes drag, which pulls the projectile back. This creates a sense of little gas in that area is filled through a generation, explosive generation, and that area is filled, the drag reduces hell of a lot.
Okay.
It also fires the M107 round illumination and smoke. Next, as sir brought out already, in 1/5 of the cost, actual cost is 77.37 lakhs. In 1/5 of the cost of a weapon, you are getting a 155mm gun. Of course, Make in India is getting celebrated, but the real boost is, imagine this gun of, now we got just the order of 200, but don't think that we have more than 1,000 M46 pieces. Imagine these getting upgunned at this rate. I was hearing General Kulkarni, who is in the OFB, talking about this. He says for 300 guns contract, 180 is being given. For 300, the cost is 210 crores. Now 300 guns getting upgraded at 210 crores. Look at the 80 AGS. For 150 guns, 3364 crores. M177, 145 guns, 5070 crores. For K9, 4200 crores. Now look at that figures and look at this figure of 1,000 pieces, each getting upgraded at 77 lakhs. With what? With getting better range, better caliber, better ammunition, better variety to fire. You see the firing of this gun, videos of this gun firing in LPR Kamaria, then you will realize that this gun consistently fired 2 guns 4 times, and also this trial took place in Sikkim, it took place in Jaisalmer, it took place in LPR Kamaria. Everywhere the guns, it was no retrial, no confirmatory trial. So we are getting a lot from this gun at minuscule cost and celebrating the Make in India.
Okay, so cost effective, Make in India, lethality increased, range increased. Concluding words from you, Ajay, on not only Sharang, but also overall the artillery regiment and the way the entire Make in India process and the partnership, public-private partnership is working out here.
Allow me a little digress. First of all, the figures which were quoted earlier. 1582 is the towed guns. 814 is the truck-mounted artillery. I had not added those.
Yeah,
so
you'd mentioned that.
I was mentioned only towed artillery. What General Chakravarti pointing out is he's adding the numbers of the towed artillery, the truck-mounted artillery, which is separate. Probably Danish could be that one. Okay, coming back to your question. See what Sharang does and what this artillery program does. Firstly, most importantly, as all of us have brought out, it is a Make in India program. Now, it meets the requirement of the Indian Army. We just have to speed up. OFB is doing a brilliant job. See, the best part is that they know the metallurgy of making a barrel now. Making the barrel is the most important part. The rest of the part, the fit and finish, the launching parts, they are already known to us. The barrel was the tough part, which was started with Dhanush, then the ATAGs came in, and now this one. Now, the cost is the most important aspect because it is being done at a very, very low cost. You already have the chassis, you already have the gun, you are just upgunning it. Upgunning means a new barrel. Now, what does this mean? Vishal, 1987 when we ordered the Bofors howitzer, to 2017, we have ordered nothing. The Dhanush was being made, was being tested. People were not sure what will be done. When these guns started coming, the confidence of the makers have been come up. Imagine 3 private companies. L&T is making the self-propelled tracked howitzer. The Bharat Forge and Tata are making the ATAGs. With this, I would conclude with only one remark. The ghost of the Bofors is out of the Ministry of Defense now. The ghost does not wander in the Ministry of Defense anymore. We have tackled that ghost. The Bofors ghost is gone. We are making our own artillery guns.
Okay, so we have moved much further beyond Bofors there, as pointed out by all our three panelists. So there it is, not only about the artillery regiment and how Make in India works there, but also about Sharang specifically.